Today I am going to show you guys if for some super odd reason I tomorrow decided I did not want to do YouTube anymore, I didn't want my entire makeup collection, and I just wanted to keep a rather small makeup collection. Let's go with the word smaller. Makeup collection. These are the products that I would keep and I would give away the rest. It's not gonna happen, but if for some reason it did, this is what I would keep. Now, hopefully this sounds interesting to you. If it does, before we get started, let's go ahead and do the YouTubey things. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We are well and truly on our way to 7,000, which is mind-blowing, so thank you so much, and let's get into it. First things first, this eyeshadow look is look number 4 in my 5 looks one palette using my Mecca Beauty industrial palette, and I believe that video should be coming, so stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss it. And yes, I am obsessed with this look. I really am. It turned out so well. Secondly, this fringe is, I don't know what it's doing today, so just pretend like it's in place. Thank you so much. Thirdly, I have already filmed this video and I'm refilming it now because I started getting confused in the original video between like, if I was to declutter my existing collection because I wanted to quit YouTube and have a smaller collection, what would I keep in my existing collection versus what would my makeup collection potentially look like if I never was on YouTube in the first place and didn't really follow beauty YouTube. So I'm refilming this to be if I was to declutter my existing makeup collection and have like a practical smaller collection that I would use on my everyday life, don't want a heap of makeup, just want to keep it quite functional, what would I keep? And if you want to see that, like if I didn't really know anything about beauty YouTube and all that jazz, what would my makeup collection look like? Let me know and I can film that for you as well. I haven't gone super minimalist in this. I'm not a minimalist, period. Just period. So even if I wasn't on beauty YouTube or that kind of thing, I wouldn't have a minimal collection. It's just not really who I am. I like change. I like to really switch up products, and also if I was to quit YouTube tomorrow, I would still have all the knowledge that I have about makeup, right? So there are different products that I use for different things for different occasions, so that's why. Now let's go ahead and get into primers first. I have one primer that I've already completely used up in my collection, but it is the primer that I would consistently repurchase, and it is definitely one that I would always have in my collection, and it is the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Tint. So I'll pop a picture right here for you guys. Now, this one is not the Complexion Touch, which I do have in my collection. This is the original Water Fresh Tint, and I like to use this one. There's like a heap of construction outside as a side note. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. I like to use the Water Fresh Tint as a primer for me personally. It just keeps my skin really fresh and juiced up and just glowy in the best way, and I just really noticed that my foundation always sits better when I use that primer. So that primer I would have absolutely and would consistently repurchase. The other one I would keep is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. This has been around my channel for quite some time, and the reason why I would have this one in my collection is because it really does create that tacky surface on the skin. When you put a more medium to full coverage foundation on top of it, it really grips to it and it really extends the longevity of my makeup. So for things like work, nights out, weddings, all that kind of jazz, this is a really good product and I absolutely would always want to have it in my collection. The next one that I would keep is the Timeless Smoothing Primer from Tarte. You guys see me use this all the time. This one's pretty much used up completely and I already have a backup. This is just the hands down best pore smoothing primer I have ever used. It really does create that flawless, poreless base. So I would absolutely keep that one. The other one, and I'm not sure if you would necessarily categorize this in the primer category, but for me it is. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base. And it's not the face base, but the eye base. And I have been using this. I've actually had this for a while. Didn't think I super liked it. And then recently retried it, which just goes to show that skin can change over time, taste can change over time with different techniques, all that kind of thing. Like this is why I try really hard and try really different ways to use my makeup and with different products and all that jazz, because I generally do find most of the time you can find a way to make that product work for you if you've spent your hard-earned money on it. Especially in Australia, we can't really return makeup, so we kind of have no choice but to live with it, you know? Anyway, I really like this. This has been really adding, I use my normal eye cream in the morning and I put the smallest amount of this product on my under eyes before I put color corrector and concealer on, and it has made the biggest difference to my under eyes throughout the day. Instead of it getting to midday and my under eyes looking dry and parched and horrific, they still look juiced up and like a lot healthier. So staying. Foundations that I would keep, you guys hands down know what these foundations are if you watch my #1 makeup video. It is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation and the KVD Good Apple Foundation. This is in shade Mont Blanc, this is in shade 12, and these are the best foundations I have still tried. I am currently testing the Hourglass one though, and it's what I'm wearing today, and it's looking quite nice. So, but this one is just a fail-safe. I wore this on my wedding day. It's such a lightweight, beautiful buildable foundation. I don't know if you won't be able to tell on camera, but I can see in person when the light shines through this. I've nearly even used this up completely. I love this. Everyday wear, makes your skin look like skin but also flawless at the same time. You can build it up to be a medium coverage, a light coverage. It's like, I don't know, it's magic in a bottle. It's perfect for every day. And then on those days when I really want the coverage, like I want to be just kind of blanked out and that more glam, then that's when I'm going to go for my KVD Good Apple. This is more of a dewy natural finish on my skin, but with powder and everything I can really make it work for my combo skin. It's so smoothing. It's just so smoothing, and you don't need a lot. Like, you just need a really, really small amount. Like, if you have this and you're finding it's really heavy and cakey looking, try cutting back the amount of product that you're using, because when you really quite shear this out and then almost use it even as a spot concealer for the spots that you need more coverage, it just looks really gorgeous. It looks like you have foundation on, not in a cakey, heavy, like unnatural, gross way. It's like, you know, there's foundations that kind of look like skin, like this one, and then there's foundations that even though they look really good, it's still obvious you're wearing makeup, right? That's what this is. And I really I would absolutely have both in my collection for sure. Let's just get the setting spray out of the way. The only setting spray I would keep, hands down, Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This stuff is literal magic in a bottle. I don't need anything else. I've already repurchased a backup. It's incredible. Color corrector I would hands down keep is the Charlotte Tilbury, I think this is the Magic Away or Magic Vanish color corrector. This is in the shade 1. I even used color corrector before I knew anything about beauty YouTube. I used a Bobbi Brown one. This is the one I would keep. This one, I love the tone. It's probably not 100% the perfect tone. I haven't probably found that just yet, but it's the closest. But the thing that I love most about this is it doesn't disturb the formulas that you're going to put on top. So no matter what concealer you're putting on top of this one, it doesn't change the formula or the finish of it. And that's what I love about it, while still color correcting. Concealers might surprise you guys a little bit. So hands down, holy grail right now. I have never come across a concealer like this. Again, you'll know this if you watch my #1 makeup video. Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. This is in the shade 2.7. Is it 2.7N? Let me check. Yes, 2.7N. So shade 2.7N. This is hands down the best concealer I've ever used. I've said it, even over Pat McGrath. It is full coverage. Full coverage, which I have been looking for my entire life. This is my kind of determination of full coverage, at least for me. I only have to use one layer of this. If you have been on my concealer journey with me, you guys know that to just be able to use one layer of concealer for me and my difficult under eyes, that's huge. But not only that, it is not heavy. It is not heavy. It is so lightweight on the under eyes. And I think it says it's like a, yeah, luminous matte. And I know that's so contradictory. How can something be luminous and matte? But it is, because it's like matte, but it's not drying in any way, and it just looks hydrating on the under eyes, at least for mine. I love this concealer. It's smoothing, it's full coverage, it wears really well and really long wearing. It's just, everything about it is perfection to me. And the other one I would keep is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. So this is in the shade 1N. This concealer is just a really good option to have around when you want a more natural to medium coverage day. I mean, you could definitely share the Huda one out, but this one is just super hydrating, smoothing again on the skin. You can't build this up to be as full coverage as the Huda, but again, just for those more everyday, fuss-free kind of looks, this is just a really nice one to have on hand. And even like if there were days, for example, where my under eyes were extra dry for some reason, mixing these two concealers together would be a great option, because this will add some extra hydration. And this is just one of those concealers that's like a fail safe. It's just beautiful for probably anyone, and it's just one that I kind of always want to have in my collection. Powders is a category that I feel passionate about. I have 4. I really like to use a under eye powder, a face powder. I have powders for different reasons, okay? I feel very passionately about them. I have combination skin, and they're one of the biggest things that make a difference to my makeup. For my under eye powder, I probably would keep 2. Obviously, I would keep my Laura Mercier Secret brightening powder for under eyes. It's the loose one. You guys have seen me use this a lot on my channel, and I do really like this. However, can I be honest with you guys? The Westman Atelier Vital Pressed Skincare Powder in Pink Bubble, this has taken its place. I cannot stop using this. Like, it's got a proper dent in here. You probably won't be able to see, but it's like starting to, like, I don't know how far I've got to go until I hit pan, probably quite a bit, but I have just cannot stop using this. It looks so lovely on my under eyes, especially paired with the Bobbi Brown eye cream. So I would keep both, but I gotta be honest, if I had to pick between these two right now, I would pick this one. It's so good. I mean, it's expensive, but it's good. You absolutely know that the face powder, hands down, that I would keep is the Kosas Cloud Set powder in Breezy. I've gone through 6 of these. This is the best powder of all time in my opinion. You haven't seen it a lot on my channel because I'm trying to use other powders and give them some love. This is a fail-safe, hands down best powder of all time. Love it. I would also keep, I don't know if I would repurchase this. I guess it would depend on when I finished it up, kind of how I was feeling, but I would absolutely keep the Uoma Beauty Trippin Smooth powder. This has really grown on me every time I use it, and because I don't need to use a lot of it, it just really mattifies and sets and smooths. Like, this really does create a smooth finish, like a filtered finish on your skin. And like with the smallest amount of product, I really like this. And I think for those summer days where it's like really hot and sweaty, or like a night out or a wedding where you're just gonna get hot and sweaty, like if you're outside a lot, this is like a powder you could really count on. And then a powder that I just, well, technically this is a foundation, but I put it in my powders. And this is just one of those products that I would keep in my collection because it's a product that, like, it's kind of like a fail-safe product, and it's really like a fix-all for a lot of things. This is the MAC Studio Fix Foundation, powder foundation, sorry. This is in the shade NW20. And I do have the shade NC25 as well. Yeah, NC25 as well, which is like my all over face shade. And then this is like my T-zone shade. And I'd probably keep both of them, to be fair, because this one I like if my under eyes are playing up and I just need a little bit more coverage, or if I need a little bit more coverage and smoothing through the T-zone because for whatever reason it's just not happening today. This is a really good powder foundation for that. And then the deeper shade, the NC25, is really good if I've got a foundation that is too light for me. I can kind of use that to set my face, and it will just make the foundation shade generally the correct shade for me. So, and I just find these products as well for buffing out, like say if accidentally kind of created my contour or my bronzer too harsh or anything like that, can use them to like buff it all out, and it just smooths everything over and creates softened lines and all that. So I just find that these MAC Studio Fix foundations, the powder ones, are just a catch-all for a lot of mistakes or like fixes or whatever it is. So let's go ahead and do cream products. This is the only cream bronzer. You know what I'm gonna say. This is the only cream bronzer I am keeping. I don't need anything else. This is the NARS Laguna bronzing cream in the shade Laguna. Man, this product is flawless. If you saw my #1 makeup video that I recently did, you will know how much I was raving about this. This is hands down the best cream product I've ever used out of any cream product, period. It's so good. The level that this is just perfection, I can't even explain to you. It blends itself. Like literally as you tap it onto your face with your brush, it's blended. It's so smooth, so creamy. It's the perfect shade. It's just literally the best product I think I've ever nearly tried. Cream highlighters, I would keep these two. I've got 2 brands, but there's 3 in total. So the 2 that I would keep is absolutely my Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Liquid Highlighters. I have Pink Moon and Crystal Nebula. I think this is Crystal Nebula. These are just beautiful. They mix really well with foundation. They go really well as primers. They go really well as liquid highlights. Like, they're just a really good versatile product. I love them. The shades are lovely, perfect. They feel luxe, not going anywhere. And the other one is the Vieve Skin Dew. This has got to be one of my favorite products as well of all time. This is magical. And again, this as a primer mixed in with foundation as a liquid highlight. It's not the cream highlight I'm wearing today, sorry. It's just such a good, it says glow multitasker, and that's exactly what it is. And it's the kind of shade that's going to go across pretty much all tones of skin, because it really kind of goes onto the skin almost like translucent and just adds this perfect like dew to it. It is impeccable. Impeccable. Jamie Genevieve like nailed it. She nailed it. Cream blushes. I have 2, but 3 because 2 are from the same brand. Victoria Beckham cream blushes. So I have the shade Playground, and I recently picked up the shade Knickers. which is adorable. So these are the two cream blushes from Victoria Beckham that I would keep. This one is, are you gonna focus? This one is Playground, this one is Knickers. I love these. I use Playground like excessively. It's just one of those kind of shades that is really like, if you don't know what color blush to wear, it's that kind of a shade that just goes with absolutely everything. The formula of these are perfect. They're pigmented without being too pigmented. I like to have a buildable blush because I am heavy-handed. So I like a buildable product where I can't really like make a mistake and I don't have to worry about it. And these are perfect. And they're also small and compact and light, so perfect for travel. And then the other one is just one of the best products as well that I've tried. This is the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Tint in the blush. This is in the shade Intense Coral, and for some reason these are still not released in Australia. Once they do get released in Australia, I'll pick up more shades. God, the way that this product is not even a product on your skin, like it just, because it's a water-based product, it melts onto your skin with like way more pigment than you're anticipating, but literally it's just your skin. Because of the formula. It's insanely beautiful. If you haven't checked out like my review of this product and the complexion touch, I recommend it because the way that this blush applies in that video is flawless. Flawless. And it's a finish that's like, I would just call it a natural finish because it honestly just melts into your skin. It's not like overly glowy, it's not matte, it's just pure perfection. So hands down would keep that, pry that from my cold down hands. Let's move on to the powder complexion products. As a catch-all, I would honestly definitely keep my Vieve face palette. I don't super love face palettes, especially ones that don't have a comprehensive shade range, but I do have to admit, I picked this up because I wanted to try a full face of Vieve. I have that review on my channel if you're wondering, and this just saved me some money to pick up the bronzer and the blush and the highlight, to be fair. But these products, wow. Wow, are they good. Like, Jamie Genevieve's brand does not get the hype that it deserves, truly. These blushes are perfect. This bronzer is perfect. The highlight is perfect. Everything about this is perfect. I could travel with this and not need anything else. It's so good. I would absolutely keep that. And then the powder bronzer that I would keep, and I just didn't realize how much I liked this until I filmed my like makeup I want to use up video. And I've been using this over and over again to use it up. And I'm like, to the point now where I've actually put it back in my bronzer drawer and switched out and put in another bronzer in that makeup I want to use up because I'm like, actually, I want to slow down and keep this because powders do keep for quite some time. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Bronzer. So you can see I've used quite a bit. This is in the shade 2, which the shade range of this needs vast amounts of work, like most of Charlotte Tilbury's products. But this is so good. This is so good. It really is airbrushed on the skin. It just blends out so smoothly and flawlessly and lovely. And I didn't realize how much I really love this until I used it every single day consistently for a month. And yeah, it's my favorite. It's hands down my favorite. Honorable mentions go to the Victoria Beckham bronzer, the Makeup by Myer bronzer, the Gucci bronzer. I probably would also keep them, let's be real. But like if I had to strip it back, that's probably what I would pick. Powder blush. Hands down, keeping my Pat McGrath Labs Paradise Glow Blush Duo. This is my favorite blush in my entire collection. I absolutely adore it. These two shades mixed together are like the most perfect sunburnty color on me. And then Desert Orchid on its own is just chef's kiss. I love this. This would be going absolutely nowhere. And then as kind of another catch-all, I would keep my Luna Beauty Nude Prism Blush Palette because I just love these tones so much. And with all of these in here, I don't really need anything else. You know what I mean? Like I'm covered. I've got every occasion done with this palette. So, and the formula is absolutely lovely. Again, another brand that doesn't get the right hype. And then for highlighters, I probably have 3. Honorable mention will go to the Pat McGrath Labs Golden Nectar highlight. I do really, really love that. But if I was really forcing myself to strip it back, these are the ones I would keep. Hermes, you know, I'm keeping my Hermes highlighter. I adore this. I really, really do. This is just everything about this product I love. Everything about it. It's so good. And then this one is a surprise to me. I didn't expect to like this as much as I do, but I really do love it. This is the Tom Ford highlighter in the Sheer Highlighting Duo in Reflects Gilt. And it's so good. It's amazing. And the thing that I love the most about this is how natural it looks. This on the skin looks almost like a cream. It really does melt into the skin and doesn't create any form of texture whatsoever, which is rare to do with a powder highlight. So I just think as I'm getting older, this is like the perfect one to kind of keep around, you know? That is all of the complexion products. Quickly for brows, I don't have a brow pencil. I mean, I have a heap. I would keep them all because I'd just go through them, but I don't have like a favorite brow pencil really. But I do have some favorite brow product, like gels. Benefit Gimme Brow, hands down, keeping, love it. Go through these over and over again. I love them. They just fluff. They fluff and thicken perfectly. But then I would definitely keep and constantly repurchase the Patrick Tar Lamination Gel because my brows need fluffing and thickening, but to keep them glued up because they're strong, this is the only product that does that for me, which is the Patrick Tar Lamination Gel. Only eye primer, hands down, I would keep Rare Beauty eye primer. You guys know I love this. I have wonderful ones in my collection, but this is all I need. The mascaras, the only two I would keep is, I mean, I'd probably realistically, honestly, just keep them all and use them because you would use them. But Lancome Lash Idol, this is my favorite mascara for that vavoom like it just is like boom, great mascara, love it. But I would also keep the Rare Beauty and constantly keep repurchasing the Rare Beauty mascara because I really like the Victoria Beckham lash Future Lash as well, but I like this Rare Beauty one a little bit more for the everyday because this still is quite vavoom and it's a tubing mascara, which for me on the everyday, I really prefer a tubing mascara because I like to take my makeup off in the shower, so it just comes off super easily without any like worry. And so this is just a mini size, but I would repurchase the full size constantly. I'm keeping my Pat McGrath Labs Intensify Stick, and now that I know this exists, I never want to be without it. I'm getting it over and over again, okay? That is never, you'll pry that from my cold dead hands as well. Let's talk about some cream eyeshadows that I would hands down keep. These Alice Fast ones that people just don't give them the love and attention they deserve. One is a matte in E106, and it's so good. It's like the perfect kind of everyday cream eyeshadow matte shade, and it blends out beautifully and does not crease whatsoever. And the other one is this beautiful kind of green, because you know I love a green, and it is E302, which is this one right here. I would definitely keep these because as far as cream eyeshadows go, in terms of this like liquid proper, like not a pot, these are the best I've used. They do not crease at all, flawless, and I love the shades. I would also keep, this is new to my collection, and I know people have raved about these for the longest time. I was slow on the uptake, but damn, I cannot believe how beautiful this product is. This is the Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadow in Smoke. This has become one of my favorite products in my collection as well. It is gorgeous. Like for the everyday, it is perfect. Like, I don't know if you can see it properly there, but a lot of the times I've been like throwing my bronzer or a neutral shade through the crease and just tapping this on over the lids. And damn, do I not look like chic and put together. And then when the light hits it, it's like this perfect glittery look, and it is, oh, it's amazing. So I definitely even probably will pick up more of these eventually, but for the sake of this video, I would be prying it from my cold dead hands again. And this Tom Ford Golden Peach. And I would keep a lot more cream eyeshadows around like this in pots because before I was on YouTube, I used to use these quite a lot. So I know that for me, I would get a lot of use out of them. This is Golden Peach. So it has the cream on the bottom. I have a get ready with me coming up actually where I use this. So that's that one. And then it has, it's kind of like the Auric shadows too. It has like the sparkly one on top. So that's kind of the sparkly one. And then you pop it over the top if you wish, or I guess you can use it on its own, all that jazz. And it creates this perfect little sparkle, which again, on camera, it won't show properly, but in real life, when the light hits it, it just looks stunning, absolutely stunning. Eyeshadow palettes. I know you guys are wondering what eyeshadow palettes I would keep. Let's be realistic, you guys. I spent that much money on my Pat McGrath Labs eyeshadow palettes, my Natasha Denona palettes and all that jazz. I'm keeping them. I would keep them. I'm not even gonna pretend I wouldn't, because I would. I spent so much money on those products and I actually really love them. And I think even if I was to quit YouTube tomorrow, I don't think that love for those products would go away. I would probably keep, would I keep my, no, I could definitely declutter a heap of my eyeshadow palettes, but there's all my Natasha Denona, all my Pat McGrath Labs, probably all my Tom Ford, my Viseart, stuff like that. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna get use out of them. You know, I'm still gonna wear makeup. So I'm not going to tell you which one I would keep because I really wouldn't give them away. That's ludicrous. Let's move on to lips. Lip liners, I'm keeping my two Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude and Pillow Talk because really I don't need anything else. Keeping my Pat McGrath Labs Contour. In fact, I forgot about them because they're kept in a different section, but I'd also keep my Lisa Eldridge because it's Lisa. And then for lipsticks, I would keep all of this for lipsticks. So this is, again, I know I'm supposed to be like decluttering, but at the same time, like these are all luxury lipsticks. So this is Lisa Eldridge, Givenchy, Charlotte Tilbury, Tom Ford, Pat McGrath, Victoria Beckham. Why would I get rid of any of them? Eventually, I will go through them. Like eventually I will. Just because I would be like not doing YouTube anymore doesn't mean that I wouldn't still want like a lipstick wardrobe of different shades. And same with like my lip glosses. I surprisingly go through that many lip glosses. Like honestly, I have heaps, but I go through them so regularly. So I wouldn't declutter any of those. It would mainly be like primers, foundations, concealers, you know, like blushes, bronzers, all that stuff that I would significantly declutter because they take so long to go through, you know. But anyway, I guess if I had to pick lips, like had to, I'd be keeping Charlotte Tilbury Runway Royalty, like definitely. I'd 100% keep all of my Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. I would keep Hermes Rose Incense, and I would keep my Victoria Beckham. If I had to, I'd get rid of my Tom Ford, even though I really like them. They're not my favorite shades in my collection. And yeah, the rest can, I guess, go if they had to. But the Charlotte Tilbury Runway Royalty, my two Victoria Beckham lips, and all of my Lisa Eldridges and my Hermes, they gotta stay. That is the end of this video. It was just, you know, a little bit of fun, hopefully, for you guys. But that is it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Any of my products, did they surprise you? And what are you keeping in your collection? What are you giving up? If you've stayed until this point, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate you, honestly. And if you haven't already, pretty please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps my channel out a lot and I really appreciate it. Other than that, I hope that you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.